Good evening, class. My name is David Alanis, and my topic is on sexual explicit materials and sex laws. During this presentation, I'll be talking about what comprises that sexual explicit material, obscenity laws, how they came about, and how they eventually turned into sex laws. Now, before we jump into obscenity laws and regulations at the state and federal level, we first must understand how they first came about. The general idea here is censorship, which is the government, private groups, or individuals imposing their moral or political values on us by suppressing words, ideas, or images they deem offensive, which naturally makes sense. I mean, we don't want any children, watching any material that they're not ready for. Now, sexually explicit material is a neutral term that encompasses erotica, pornography, and obscenity. It includes but is not limited to magazines, books, movies, pictures, and the internet. All of those terms were thrown into that category because there is very little agreement as to what actually constitutes as pornography, erotica, and obscenity. Each term is subjective and can be interpreted differently from one individual to the next. So if I were to ask one person what they deem as obscene, their answers may be similar but inherently different. Now, the federal government created general obscenity laws to help as guidelines for censorship without actually defining what obscenity was. This gives each state the ability to interpret the legislation on a case-by-case basis. 3 of those obscenity laws are as follows. The dominant theme of the work must appeal to prurient sexual interest and portray sexual conduct in a patently offensive way. Number 2, taken as a whole, the work must be without serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. And number 3, a reasonable person must find the work to possess no social value. Now, speaking of case-by-case basis, this serves as an excellent segue into sex laws. The U.S. Supreme Court decisions in the 50s and 60s eliminated much of the legal framework supporting literary censorship on the national level. They washed their hands of this and let the state and local levels deal with it. However, the obscenity laws get blurry when children are involved or if there's monetary exchange for sex. Then the federal government jumps in. But coming back to censorship in state law, states create laws when a certain offense happens repeatedly. Now, good and not so much bad, but definitely strange has come of this. Some state laws, and I think we can all agree with this, is that in New York, adultery is illegal. Yeah, I totally agree with that. In Utah, marrying your cousin is also illegal. I agree with that. On the flip side, there are some strange laws that exist today. For example, in Iowa, keep in mind that this had to have happened repeatedly for it to become a law. In Iowa, it is illegal to take 3 sips of beer while laying in bed with your wife. Now, then you get in trouble. But keep in mind that, this is your life partner that threw you under the bus. Weird. Again, in Iowa, it's illegal to wink at another person. And I got one more. Indiana, if you have a mustache and you kiss habitually, then you get in trouble. Anyway, this concludes my presentation. I hope you guys liked it. Have a good evening.